So what's up, people? And yeah, welcome to another Battle Angel video. A very stupid one, as you could see from Cyber Alita's confused face there. But this is one of those situations where I was dwelling upon the comic and some stupid questions came up based on the recent chapters of Mars Chronicle. So this is a Mars Chronicle discussion. And rather than a discussion, it's more a question because I know a lot of you people out there who watch my videos are very knowledgeable with this comic, a lot more than I am. And so I am going to ask a question. But before I do that, I figure I will do my standard spoiler alert. So since this is going to cover some of the most recent chapters of Battle Angel Alita Mars Chronicle, as much as it is a stupid question, if you don't want to hear anything about the most recent chapters of Mars Chronicle, then maybe you should turn off this video. And with that, I will leave it up to you. And as always, please watch at your discretion. Now, before I begin, I do want to inform people that the pre-order for Battle Angel Alita Mars Chronicle Volume 7, the comic, is now available, but it won't be released until October 20th, 2020, based upon Amazon's pre-order information. This is good news and somewhat bad news in the sense that the good news is, we'll be getting 7 soon. I wasn't sure if we had enough content to actually make one whole volume. Maybe we do. I don't know. But in any case, Volume 7 will be coming out in October 20th, which is good news in the progress of the story, but bad news that we have to wait for quite a long time. So I am anxious in getting this volume, but even I don't want to particularly order it this early in the pre-order, so I'll probably wait until sometime like September before I even consider ordering volume 7. I did recently get the most recent volume of Spy Family, which finally came out, volume 2 and volume 1 for the English version. And so I'll probably make a video comparing the English and the Japanese version of the same volume in the near future. But anyway, I'm digressing. So anyway, if you're interested in the most recent volume, then expect it to come out on October 20th. Anyway, coming back, most recent volumes or chapters of Mars Chronicle. I was coming up with some really, stupid questions. And some of them may be pertinent, like who the heck is this Kaufman guy? And considering that he seems to have a strong impact in these recent chapters between Yoko and Erika, how come he doesn't appear in the earlier memories of Alita? And it's mostly Gelda, did something happen to Kaufman? Aside from that, why is Unye Holberg so freaking strong when Mr. Fairy takes over, right? I mean, she is pretty badass. And probably the most pertinent question for me is, how can little Yoko be so freaking cute in a situation of life and death? How can she do that? That is just a mystery to me. But those aren't the questions that I want to cover today, although I may cover them in a future chapter because some of them may be enough for a discussion later on. But one thing that recently came up is what the heck happened during the Grunthal Massacre after Operation Malwolf, which decimated the Panzer Kunst academies, right? According to some of the information from Tzkrow, We do know that after Alita was captured and information about Grunthal was found out to be connected to Operation Malwolf and the Cameron tragedy, we do know that Jupiter, to save their butts, sided with Earth and Venus, stopped the war, and basically blamed all of it on Grunthal and blasted that academy to kingdom come. And that's why the Panzer Kunst Academy is a legendary academy, because nobody is alive after that. Or so we thought, until, of course, we started seeing other Kunstlers pop up, starting with Erika. And later on, we saw War Dr. Bremen and Parabellum, and even Gert, the leader of at least some division within the Panzer Kunst Academy, right? And probably the highest standing leader at this time. But in those cases, they were explained because they were necro soldiers. They basically got killed, most likely during the massacre, where they were blasted to kingdom come. And considering the fact that they still had their bodies intact, which was surprising, they were resurrected back to being necro soldiers. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. So typically, technically, nobody is really alive with the exception of Alita and Tzkrow. Why Tzkrow? Why is Tzkrow alive, right? And considering the fact that Grunthal was facing, the entire military of Earth and Venus and Jupiter probably came with the largest force to make sure that Grunthal was destroyed before they could say anything about their, about Jupiter's involvement with Cameron tragedy. Yeah, I mean, why is Tzkrow alive? And does that indicate that there are other Kunstlers that may potentially be alive? Yeah, of course, the two that come up in question are the ones that we still haven't, learned about in the present time. One is, of course, Gelda, and the other is Kaufman, right? So if Kaufman didn't die between the transition from, Kaufman to Gelda, in the current story of Battle Angel Lita Mars Chronicle, then maybe Kaufman is still alive because we haven't seen him as a necro soldier, or did he get killed? Did Gelda get killed before this whole thing happened? As a lot of people speculate that maybe Erika killed Gelda. We don't know yet. But those are the two Kunstlers we still know about that we don't know what happened to them. But coming back, this still doesn't answer why is Tzkrow alive, right? Why isn't he a necro soldier like everybody else? Why wasn't he killed? And there may be a few possibilities. One is that somehow he escaped from that entire bombardment, which I can't imagine to be the case. If Jupiter really wanted to make sure every single member of Panzer Kunst was killed, so that they won't reveal the truth, then I would think that they nuked anything near Grunthal's Panzer Kunst Academy to ensure that nobody escaped. So I'm not sure if Tzkrow could escape from that. And considering the fact that he wasn't particularly a strong member of the Panzer Kunst Academy, I can't imagine how Gert got killed and yet Tzkrow stayed alive. The other possibility was Tzkrow was in a mission, and maybe before he could come back and call in, maybe Grunthal got attacked. I don't know. And so Tzkrow decided to hide out and go into the shadows from that point. But the one other possibility, which is the most interesting for me, is if you look at the recent chapters of Last Order, you realize that Tzkrow was a servant for Aga Mbadi. Right. So considering the fact that Ladder was there, and Ladder was the most affected by the Operation Malwolf because they almost got framed for that entire tragedy. Why is Tzkrow alive under Aga Mbadi? And the one possibility is, was he a traitor? Was he the one that helped bring the military forces to the academy? Because I would think that the academy would take a lot of precautions to avoid showing their locations, or at least all of their locations, so that they could survive. I mean, this is, after all, one of the most secret rogue societies out there, the Panzer Kunst camera group, right? And so, did Tzkrow negotiate his life to tell the military the location of the camera group's headquarters? And was that why, considering how strong and tactical the Panzer Kunst Academy was, they still got destroyed by the military? And is Tzkrow the only one alive because, again, he was the one that somehow negotiated his life for that? In which case, of course, considering the fact that Tzkrow blamed Alita for the destruction of Grunthal, will we later find out, and will Alita later find out that no, it was actually Tzkrow, and will Alita get, somewhat justification and redemption by killing Tzkrow? We don't know yet, And what's interesting is, of course, Tzkrow didn't realize that Gurkt was alive, and when Alita told him, he was extremely afraid. And was that just because of the fact that Alita was kind of scaring him into telling Tzkrow that she was going to go tell Gurkt that he kind of sold out on them? Or was that just coincidental situation that when she pretended to say that as a kind of a threat, that actually that happened, and that scared the crap out of Tzkrow? I don't know, but it is interesting that he is the only surviving member so far of the Panzer Kunst Academy. So what did happen at the massacre, And why is also, one last thing, Tzkrow still alive, right? So everything happened 200 years ago during the very final parts of the Terraformer Wars, right? And you could understand in the case of Alita, she's alive because she was in suspended animation in the junkyard for 200 years. You could understand why Gurkt, Parabellum, and Dr. Bremen are alive because of the fact that they were resurrected as necro soldiers. Why is Gurkt alive? And, I could understand why Mbadi is alive, because he went out of his way to learn Methuselization so that he could actually live that long. So did Tzkrow also gain Methuselization so that he could live that long? And why would Mbadi waste his time on Tzkrow that way? Maybe he thought that having the final Kunstler would be a trump card for him. But I guess the other thing is, if Tzkrow didn't get Methuselization, he still lived 200 years, is that because he is a cyborg rather than a human? So cyborgs have longer lifespans. But if that's the case, why doesn't every cyborg have that lifespan? So, a couple of stupid questions. I don't think any of these questions being answered is really going to change any revelation on this story. Maybe, I'm not sure. But I'm not even sure if these are questions worth asking. But it was something that bugged me for a little bit, so I thought I would make this stupid question time video. Yeah, I'll probably make more stupid question time videos to ask about some of those other questions in the future. And so, yeah, I'm going to warn you that there may be stupid videos coming out in the future as well. Anyway, that's about it for this stupid video. And because I made this question, I am hoping that one of you can figure out what the answer is and can provide some better clarity with regards to the massacre to the Panzer Kunst Academy. Okay, well, that's about it. And I'll continue to make normal videos in the future. And I hope you join me at that time. Hey, I hope you join me at those stupid question videos as well. And in any case, happy manga reading and happy speculation discussing of future sequels. And as always, Jaya, nice day, everyone.